This small amount of time to sit on a Zoom and go, I have this whole list of questions that I've been writing out over the last couple months of stuff. We're going to have them answered.
All right, welcome to Tile Coach. I'm going to be doing a tile coaching call with Ashley. He wants a follow-up consultation, so he signed up for another coaching call, and I thought it'd be a great idea to show you the process of how we do our tile coaching services here. He chose the time, it's 2 p.m. So on my Google Calendar, it showed up automatically, so I just click on it, and then it will connect. I'll start my video.
I think we got it.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you been, Ashley? So
I'm good.
it's been a while since we met up.
It has, yeah. I think at the old tile store was the last one.
So have you made some progress on the bathroom? Did you get the pan ordered and get some ready?
Yes, I did make some progress. I got the pan ordered. It's here. So I actually just watched your custom pan install this morning to write a few more questions and whatnot. And a little envious. That was a nice small shower pan you got there.
It's like this
Yeah.
big, a
For
one-person
some reason, when I
job.
ordered it, I know we talked about on that one video about the dimensions, and I went off that. And in your
Yeah.
mind, you're thinking that 45 by 85 is not that. And then it comes on a semi truck, and you're like, oh,
Yeah. So a pan that big, you're definitely going to need two people. Zach and I flew out to Indianapolis to help a gentleman. It was this, I think it was 8 feet wide by 42 deep, and it was the same pan. So we had to walk in with two people and set it down.
some of the questions I have for you today are on wallboard and stuff like that I just haven't ordered.
Okay.
I have all the tile ordered based off of what we did shopping wise. And then I just have some products and some other things to clear up with you today. But the pan was the big one for me.
Can we look at it?
Yes, I can. Come with me as I tour my house. Look at my bedroom, and then I need to flip you around here. So
Okay.
there you go.
So plumbing's moved.
Yeah, plumbing's moved from that original debacle, so all over
Yep.
there. And then, like I said, I just left that. Yeah, so I have a little bit more to fill in, and I actually have to fill in this area just a little bit because they had notched the concrete down to slope to that drain. So I have just a little bit of skimming to do in here, but nothing bad.
Sure.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it's looking good though.
it's really beautiful to be able to have this. I think I'm really trying to push people that are watching this to, if you're confused about it or something, just jump on the call with Isaac or any other tile person that does that kind of stuff. I think that's what your channel is doing for people, and what your coaching ability, I mean, literally tile coach, it's what it's doing is it's giving people access to things that seem really confusing. And while there's a lot of things that should be left to professionals, I love the resurgence of people who don't have a background in that. I grew up in a background where DIY stuff is like you just do it, but all of my friends are not like that, and they know that it's lacking in that space. And so this YouTube ability to see tile specifically and watch all of your videos and kind of take the mystery and complexity out of some things. Yeah, there's certain installs that you definitely should leave to a professional, but I think that's what the beauty of your channel is giving people access to stuff where if you stood in a shower, you'd have no idea what that looks like. And now they can look at it and go, I think I can do that, or I think I can do similar to that, or I could tile a backsplash in my kitchen, maybe not my whole entire redo shower, but like something similar, simple I can do. And that's why I love being on these coaching sessions with you. And I did that one years ago and again today, because you can answer simple questions to a complex thing like what we're talking about right now with this shower pan. On top of this shower pan is now, that is really cut down the work for people that are looking at building, replacing their fiberglass shower or something that's like old and whatnot. Doing all the again, I consider myself fairly above average on the handy scale, but probably doing a dry pack mud like pan and doing all that stuff. I start looking at that and going, that's a lot for me. And this tile ready pan is like, again, it's a huge shower, and you still just are going to go boom, drop it in, and then tile it. So between the information that you put out on your channel and then products like this thing, it's making it more accessible for the average homeowner that kind of wants to push themselves a little bit. And this
Yeah.
project would be a huge push for most people, but I think it's really attainable for people with not even really DIY skills, just a daring, daring mindset, really. So,
Thanks for sharing that, Ashley. I did. So I've been doing these coaching calls since late 2019. So we're coming up on 6 years of me doing this. I didn't even know Tile Ready existed until about 3 years ago. Didn't even
wow.
know that product existed. And so I had been coaching people on trying to use the foam pan, even the foam pans and the sheet membranes, and doing mud work and everything. And I was getting like a 50% failure rate with my clients. After I would talk to them, they would say, I tried it, Isaac, but I just couldn't get the thin set and the bands to stick together. And I had these bubbles and I just didn't feel good about it. So I just hired a pro. And when I heard that, I was like, well, that sucks. Like that, I don't even want to do this if only half of the people are successful. But once I started doing the Tile Ready, it was like I haven't had a single person who couldn't do the Tile Ready pan. I've actually been able to learn a lot now that I have kind of a history of doing these calls of what works for the average person, what doesn't, what questions I need to ask to find out if they're even capable of doing this type of work. And then kind of gearing them, kind of steering them, I should say, in a way to a simpler installation. Somebody might have like this idea that they're going to be doing this curbless entry and these huge tiles and penny tile mosaics on the walls, and I'm like, whoa, let's just slow down here. How about we try for your first time some subway tile? Let's build you a nice shower. Let's do either a 12 by 24 subway tile. Let's keep it simple. Don't do a niche. Let's just do a couple shelves. Let's
Yeah.
get you through this one, and then maybe your next one. Now you got to feel for it. Maybe the next one, let's kind of go more in on it. But I feel that's kind of, now that I have the experience, I can kind of steer people that
Yeah.
direction.
And I'm thinking when you're saying that, it's like Pinterest meets reality. Pinterest is a blessing and a curse, and you and partner or whatever start dreaming of all of these things. And you as a professional are sitting there going, that would be a lot for us to do, to
Oh
incorporate
yeah.
all the things that Pinterest shows you. For an average person doing this, what makes it simpler? And it's exactly all the stuff you just said. Your videos provide so much information, but again, it's broad to a lot of things. And then my specific issues, what do I
Yeah.
do here? What do I do there? And yeah, that hour for me and the minimal cost for the coaching, just it made the project, all the pieces fell in place at that point. And I went, oh, cool. Yeah, let's do that. That's the stuff that us homeowners don't know, those things that are they're second nature. They're your language and you're used to them. And then we go, I don't know what the difference between a rectified edge and not is. I just look at tile. And so going back into floor and decor after we spent that time together, which I would consider just a consult really, is even though we did it in person, I walked in there and I was like, cool, I know what I'm looking at now. I know what to find. I know what I need. I know what I don't need specifically. And then it came up with another list of questions that I have here. This small amount of time to sit on a Zoom and go, I have this whole list of questions that I've been writing out over the last couple months of stuff. We're gonna have them answered. And I also don't have to search through like hours of YouTube videos of things of a whole bunch of different people to try to see did they answer that. And then things change really quickly too. One of the products we're going to talk about here, it's not really mentioned in too many things because it's a floor and decor product and it's like kind of local to them. And so these products, some of the things I looked at 5 years ago on your videos, they've been improved.
Yeah.
They're this tile ready pan again, like you said, you only heard about it 3 years ago. You've started putting out videos of it recently. I think the last time we talked, there was another company's foam pan kind of thing that you were recommending if I was going to do the shower in that house. I never ended up doing that shower, but tile ready wasn't even on the list of things to
Yeah.
talk about. So here we are talking about new products. So I
Yeah.
think that's a huge benefit for your customers out there that are watching these videos.
But yeah, I'm working on right now. It's interesting that you say, being able to call other professionals. I'm actually working on a software application that's going to allow more people to access more professionals, because I'm a one-man show. I can only do so many of these one-on-one consultations, but there's a lot of really qualified installers who could do what I do out there, and there's a huge need. There's a lot of people like you out there that need it. So I'm working on a software platform that should be launching at the first of the year, that's going to be able to connect people like some of the other pros that you probably watch on YouTube, where they're going to be able to take a call. So that way we can bring the price down a little bit. We can get more people getting the information they need. And that's really cool though. I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome, man. That like it really, you and people like you that are in these trades that are pushing this stuff out are building a resurgence of people that are going to be competent and able. I really like that trend is reversing of people that are completely confused. And again, even if it's not something you're going to tackle yourself, just being informed. I think the ability to do the videos that you have and the other people out there that are really competent in this space or any space is it gives somebody what to look for and specifically what not to look for. If somebody comes out and gives you an estimate and it just seems off and you don't know why it's so low or what they're recommending, and you look and you just jump on a couple of your videos and go, he's talking about red guarding the floor and this stuff, or you walk in partway through something and go, whoa, this is, and you actually have some questions to start asking somebody and kind of holding their feet to the fire. Because I mean, my shower is the prime example of my owner paid somebody to do these, and I'm quite certain my upstairs one is failing now that's the only one I'm using. I can feel the floor upstairs bubbling and different stuff. And like somebody should be able to walk in and go, that doesn't seem right, and start to question
Mhm.
them. And the people have to actually answer for that stuff. The video I just watched of that pan that you just installed, it got installed. Like his installation was only a couple months old, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that needs to stop. Even if a homeowner is not going to try this themselves, the information is now out there,
Yeah.
and it's like a penny spent up front will spend like save thousands of dollars in the long
Yeah.
run, having stuff ripped out and whatnot.
Yeah, Brett's circumstance, that was the same. He kind of had this gut feeling like things weren't matching up correctly, and he had seen my videos because he had just been, Google does a great job of, even if you buy something related to a remodel, Google's going to hit you with my videos. And so he just came across my videos and was like, this isn't right. The job was already complete, but it's a good thing he checked, because when we took it apart, it was already leaking. And if he didn't know that, and if he just took it for granted that this installer knew what he was doing, that would have leaked for a couple of years and would have completely rotted out, all the underside of the exterior wall. I mean, and then it turns into a huge mess. So you're right. That, I think that is a good point to the coaching as well. Just getting the information to people, and then even if they have to hire it out, they know the right procedure to do, and then they have confidence and they can stand by it. Because a lot of times the homeowners don't have the confidence. They know something's not quite right, but it's like they're going up against an expert, and it's just like they get kind of shut down and they feel like, I don't, well, yeah, I don't really know. But once they have the information and they're like, no, I talked to somebody who's a professional and he said this, and now they can speak up, they can have their voice heard, and have the contractor actually respect it too.
Yeah, I
Because
think it keeps the trades like really above board, because probably the first question you get if you push back on anything is, I've been doing this 25 years, I've been doing this 30 years, this is the way it's done, which as on your video show, you can do a really great mortar bed install and the like classic old school if it's done right. If all those weep holes are protected and all the things that you push in those, if they're done right, there's nothing wrong with the old ways, and people just need to know that. But what they're getting is an education in what seems off. Is the person, do they show up on time? Do they look and act like a professional, or are they just somebody that's been installing shoddy stuff for years? I am certain the guy that installed these things has been doing that way forever. And I don't know what I'm going to find when I have to start poking around upstairs. It's just not something I can deal with right now, because it's the only two showers in the house and one of them's out. So You know, how many people out there have suffered because somebody says, I've done it that way for years. And like you said, a homeowner having the confidence to walk in and go, this doesn't feel right. And then they go, this is the way I've done it, you know, sir or ma'am kind of thing. Don't question a professional. And they can go, no, no, I actually have some information now. And you're using really outdated products. And I want to know why. And if they couldn't answer that, then you can kick them off the job. And yeah, maybe you lose a little bit of money at that point in time, but it's certainly better than what your client that you just worked on, like you said, if you'd have let that go forever, you're talking thousands of dollars. And then personally, the mold issue is a big deal. That's why I started tearing into the shower. I had mold symptoms. Like that's what I knew was happening in my own bedroom. I felt like absolute crap and just out of nowhere and reoccurring sinus infections that I've never had in my life and all kinds of stuff, brain fog and weird stuff. And I Googled because I know what's going on in the shower. I Googled mold symptoms, like that's what it is, and then tested for it. And there's mold everywhere in there. So when you're like, hey, can I go see that? That is something that people need to be aware of doing a consult is you can take your phone and go show
Yes.
Isaac exactly what's going on in your bathroom.
Yeah.
And from across the country or around the world, you could look at people's stuff and go, oh, yeah, oh, do this,
Yeah,
do
that's usually the first thing I do is after an introduction. Okay, let's see where you're at. Let's see your space, because that's the thing about there's so many nuances in the tile trade, like different subfloors, different plumbing types, different methods of construction across the country. So I can't just have like, because people have asked me, do you just have like a video on how to tile a shower? I said it's impossible because there's so many different layers of differences between construction types. Is it a slab? Is it a wood foundation? Is it this or is it that? So I really need to see like the space, and then I can come up formulate a good game plan to move forward. So
That's super cool to be able to do that, and that we actually got to do that right now. Is
yeah,
pop this over to my phone and go down and show you exactly what that drain looks like. So wow, really
yeah.
cool. I
All right,
appreciate
right on, Ashley. Well, yeah, good catching up with you, man. And
that. Same.
I'll shoot you a message and let you know when we can come by, and we'll help you get this pan installed.
I appreciate it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right,
You
have a
got
good
it,
one.
Ashley. Yeah, you too, man. See ya.